What is up guys, Sharp Gaming Rants here again with a video about Aske, an upcoming boomer shooter type of game which wants to keep the genre simple, just as it used to be. I've played the demo and these are my impressions on this upcoming title. First, let's start by the main menu, which is very basic but effective. It uses in-game graphics with the grunt enemy foregrounded and some blood splattered on the metallic wall and ground. This starting screen instantly introduces the player to the setting of this game, which is a good thing. Thumbs up for this main menu. The story is, very concise, and we can sum it up, and it is summed up by the developer with just 4 words. Far away, near death. The aesthetic of the game reminds me both of Quake 1 and Quake 2, with both industrial and medieval architecture added to the levels. Some might argue that ASCII graphics and level design are too simple, since the game does not have a lot of details or extra objects lying around the maps. But you know what? Simplicity is not a bad thing. This simplicity makes the level easier to navigate and make the enemies stand out more. And also, according to the description on Steam, this FPS sets you far away, near death, and I expect those places to be bare and hollow. An ominous soundtrack follows you throughout the demo, and I think it fits the visual aesthetics perfectly, sounding both industrial and hellish at the same time, as if doom is truly impending on you and the character is really near death. The levels are not mazy at all, at least this applies for the first 3 starting levels contained in the demo, which in my opinion is a good aspect that the levels are not mazy, because I never really enjoyed hardcore key hunting sessions, like sometimes they happen in Quake or in Doom, but with keycards. There's also a lot of tube crawling, reminding me of Half-Life, and I think it's a tribute to Half-Life. Now let's talk about the weapons that are contained in this demo, since I bet a lot of them are missing. Starting weapon is a sword, and I appreciate games that use swords as starting weapons, because knives are cool, but swords are surely better. Medieval uses a sword as well, and I love that game too. The machine gun is your main secondary weapon, and it is similar to the one in Quake Champions, and it also has a good feel to it, with a stocky and consistent sound, which really makes it feel as if the bullets are truly piercing the raw flesh of the enemies. It's a very accurate weapon as well, and the cool thing is that you can tell it's accurate by its visual and sound design. Enemies in this game revolve a lot around the flesh theme. They're all kinda naked and bloody, but we'll talk about them later. The only thing that it's important is that they're satisfying to shoot. The game skips entirely the process of giving you a single barrel shotgun in favor of making the player stumble across a double barrel shotgun during the first level of the game. Perhaps the sound effect could use some work. It sounds a bit weak, maybe they should add some bass to it, cause the sound is a bit too acute for a double barrel shotgun. But one cool thing about it is that it does one-shot enemies only if you are good at aiming it and if you position yourself close to these enemies. Otherwise, you'll need to waste an extra shell to bring your enemies to your knees. But the best part about the double barrel shotgun is blowing up corpses of enemies, just like you can do with a sword as well, for some extra fireworks. The blood in this game reminds me of the one in Dusk, although I like the one in Aske better, since in Dusk the blood kinda looks like dust. The fourth weapon present in the demo is the plasma gun, whose model is very similar to the one in Quake 3 Arena. This gun is your standard plasma gun. It's very effective, it feels good to use, and I dig the sound effects it makes. I think we need more plasma guns in video games. So now let's talk about the enemies you stumble across the demo. The most basic one is some sort of zealot with bloody blades attached to his arms. Then there is this sort of armed grunt, I don't know how they're called, resembling the light guards from Quake 2. These two enemies have some flaws in common, which are: first, that both could deal a bit more damage. Second, their attack pattern is quite predictable, which makes them easy to avoid, but sometimes it can be a good thing in boomer shooter type games. But maybe they can increase the rates of attack so that, you know, the game can be a bit more challenging. The third enemy you encounter are chunks of meat, which track you down like a bloodhound, and you need to blow them up before they blow you up. You know what? Shooting at chunks of meats is not particularly interesting nor satisfying, but at least there is gore to it, and so you get to see some bloody explosions. The fourth enemy you encounter are mummies, which throw, you guess, more chunks of meat at you with both of their hands. These meatballs are kind of homing projectiles, so strafing is key to avoid them. In my opinion, these enemies can be compared to the reptiloids from Serious Sam, although the reptiloids have much more HP and are much bigger. Fifth, but not least, are the electrified rhinos, and perhaps some more movement speed to them would actually make them more threatening. They behave just like the bulls in Serious Sam, and to kill them, well, you just have to fill them with bullets. Two missing features that this demo has are no save features. In fact, you cannot save your game in this demo, and there is no way to bind your weapons. I mean, the absence of a save feature doesn't really matter for pros like me, but, you know, for noobs like you, of course it's a bad thing. All in all, this game looks promising, and thanks to its simplicity, I bet it could be a good boomer shooter to wind down after a stressful day at work. So, I give it a thumbs up, and I hope it will get released soon, instead of being stuck in development hell, as it looks like it is. Also, Aske is pleading for a rocket launcher, so, you know, they better release this game.